What is up, YouTube? Today I'm going to be showing you how to make Venom in UFC 5. Now we're going to get the skin white as possible. You're going to want to just put the brightness to 99, saturation to 0. Also remove all body hair and facial hair. That includes the head as well. We're going to be focusing on coloring the body with these black squares to get the basic outline of where we're going to be focusing, which is mainly the chest tattoo and the face tattoo. Here are the couple shapes for the outline that I use. It's going to be the outline for the oval, outline for the half moon, a full triangle, a full half moon, and a square. This is what we're going to use just to kind of outline the spider so we know where to work around. So this is kind of what I focused on the most. It's what takes the most time. Everything else is really easy, but this spider tattoo is going to be something for you to focus on. So as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and kind of glitch the shape. What you're going to want to do is hit up on the D-pad, and then when you're also trying to stretch it with L1, you got to kind of press 3 buttons at one time and then adjust. Eventually it'll lock to a certain shape, but that's kind of how I got them shapes to be a little bit smaller, just for the detail. And we're going to be working on the butt of the spider. You kind of want to just get it nice and, aligned as much as possible. Put this right here so we can focus on the bottom pinchers of the spider. Another little half moon right here. What you do to one side, you're going to do to the other. And then you're going to want to just kind of align it. There you go. Align these triangles as well. Also, I want you guys to focus on this heavy. What you do to one side, you do to the other. As you can see throughout the video, I focused heavily on one side, and I should have just done it the way that I'm telling you to do it now. So half moon to the top so we can kind of just figure out where we're going to be placing the spider arms. Now, I did use the Charlemagne font, which is going to be the letter I and the letter J. Eyes are going to be mainly for the short, straight side, and then anything that has like a nice little arc to it is obviously going to be the J. So, like I said, what you do to one side, you're going to do to the other. I mainly focused on setting up the outline with these bottom pieces right here. You're going to remove them once you have it covered with the other filler shapes here later on in the video. But remember, what you do to one side, you're going to want to do to the other. Also, I highly recommend that you focus on copy and paste. You shouldn't want to go back and make a new layer right from scratch unless you feel like you want, some distinguishable aspects of it. Let's go ahead and start filling in right here so we know where to cut off. And then cover the back as well. I would do the back tattoo, guys, but you only have enough for just the chest, unfortunately. You'll be surprised how quickly you'll run through 100 tattoos. So right here, I'm playing with shapes, but the bottom arm, if you can see right there, I'm using it as the outline to where I can fill it in. And then once I do that, I'm gonna remove those shapes. Those I's and J's right here, perfect. You gotta set it up just nice enough to where you actually think, all right, if I remove this, there's not gonna be like an awkward shape there. But I mainly use a bunch of the outline shapes that I showed you guys earlier. You can use whatever you want to cover the most space, but these are the ones that I found more helpful. They were mainly gonna just cover that area. As you can see there, we have the perfect cutoff. Looks very nice. Again, those shapes that we're gonna see right where I put the filler shapes, you're gonna wanna remove those. But back to mainly these arms. So we're gonna go ahead and do the little adjustment trick. I would make a video on it, guys. If you want me to do it, let me know. But it's basically 3 buttons, up on the D-pad or down on the D-pad if you wanna make it smaller. and then you stretch it, and then eventually it starts to glitch out, and you can make it super thin, super big. It's really good. There we go. Nice letter J there. Yeah, just copy and paste. Copy and paste. It's going to be one of the easiest things. It's going to be your friend for sure. Also, if it helps you out, having a photo side by side, that's kind of what I did. But at the end of the day, you have to make certain adjustments because you know it's not going to be 100% accurate. But if you want to add your own flair to it, I highly encourage it. This is just how I did it, but you can also kind of focus it on yourself. Now we're closing off the pinchers. Remember, the outline right there is just the outline. It's not going to be the permanent thing. You're not going to see the circle. You're not going to see the half moon outline. Eventually, we're going to remove that towards the end of the process to reveal the tattoo. And it's going to have enough. It's going to remove tattoos so you can have more tattoos to be able to use. Because you're going to see real quick, we're already at 40 something. It's going to fill it fast. Also, I highly recommend that you pay attention to these shapes. I made the mistake of not paying attention, and I had to cut out a lot of parts where I was searching for specific tattoos to remove them. It's just something that I felt like wasn't supposed to be in the video, but I am removing tattoos when the video cuts away, so it's mainly just the outlines. That's all I'm doing. Right here, we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing we did to the bottom, which is kind of cover a lot of the surface area while also setting up the removal of those I's and J's so we can have more tattoos. You're gonna wanna, like I said, do it to both sides, but I did focus on one side heavily. That's why sometimes it takes a lot for you to kind of align these tattoos. But nonetheless, go ahead and just kind of use these shapes. Refer to the filler shapes in the beginning. It's mainly triangles, squares, and half moon shapes, just so we can kind of get that rugged spider shape. It's not really blocky. It's going to be a little curved. Again, we're doing the glitch trick right here just to kind of fill in certain areas so it looks nice and tight. This triangle, I'm not really feeling the triangle. I feel like maybe another half moon right here would fit better. But it's really up to you. Go ahead and set this down a little bit. The main thing is with these shapes, you're going to want to cover the most, because if you start to use a lot of shapes, you're not going to be happy. So right here, as you can see, I'm using a circle to kind of cover that half moon, so it focuses on the pinchers just a little bit. It looks pretty good so far. A thing that EA is really missing is zooming in on these tattoos. I would love to just be in there. I'd create so much more detailed. There we go. That's perfect. So that's basically the outline of it. So now we can kind of focus on the arms, which is the main part of this. But you're gonna want to make sure you distinguish these pinchers, because if not, it's gonna come out weird. I've seen this come out really blocky. It looks incredible. It looks really nice. It looks really nice. So now again, copy and paste. Start focusing on the arms. Kind of mimic what you were doing a little bit. Make it a little bit different, but nothing too crazy. That looks really good. And then what you do to one side, do to the other. Obviously, I focused on this a little bit heavy. There you go. Put this right here. And then right there. Luckily, we have a cutoff point, so it kind of just saves us from going a little crazy with the tattoos. As you can see there under the armpit. I might have to adjust that later or just cut it off. maybe a half moon shape here or there. But as you can see, just go through your things, copy and paste. That is going to be the majority of it. It looks really nice at this point. I don't see anything that I really have to work on other than the removal. I highly recommend that you guys do that once you fill in the thing rather than going through every single tattoo. But continue, just copy, paste, make sure you set up everything nice. There you go, set up the arms. There we go. It might not come out perfect, but that's okay if it doesn't come out perfect. As long as it's close to, you'll be very happy with the outlook. Okay. Here we go. Put that right there. See, we're already at, I believe, 84 tattoos. So we're gonna have to go through. That's pretty much what I did. Was I went through a bunch of tattoos to figure out where they were. Also to kind of take the shapes from certain sides, and I brought them over there. This is where I realized I kind of messed up. And then spacing is always important with these arms. You're gonna have to adjust it. Right here, I'm already running into a problem where it's kind of a little bit too long, too close to the top arm right there. So I gotta kind of just move it around a little bit, but it's fine because you can kind of move it to the point where it doesn't interfere with the actual overall design. And then as close as you can for symmetry, I would say copy and paste from the bottom, but at the same time, once you kind of get over there to the left, you're gonna wanna just focus on keeping it leveled. So you wanna keep it to where the pecs are. You don't wanna keep it too low. There you go. And start taking some shapes from here. Start taking some shapes from the filler. It did skip forward to it, but I'm gonna be adjusting it here in a little bit, so don't worry, I didn't skip the process. But again, you're gonna want to fill these parts right here. It looks really nice. Make sure you angle it just a little bit. There we go. Make it nice and balanced. Go ahead and remove that. Yep, see, you can tell the spikes were a little bit off. Cut that off just a little bit. Half moon up here. And then we'll hit it with the triangle. So that looks good right there. But again, I focused a little bit on the other side. Let's see. Right here, we're removing everything. That's gonna be the basics. You're gonna start removing stuff. And then down here, I'm gonna start working on using less shapes and removing just a little bit of the tattoos that I had there. Struggling a little bit to kind of find where it's at, but that's one thing you're gonna struggle with the most. Start removing these. I realized where I kind of messed up at, so I'm removing all of these to kind of fix it. So now we have it to where I want to adjust it just a little bit. I did remember that I forgot the outline at the bottom was there. So now we're going to be using, like I said, a little less shapes. But at the same time, we're going to be using these other shapes to kind of get it nice and leveled out. So kind of just compare the other side. That's all you're doing. Compare the other side. If it looks close, it's good. Get it to right there. We're gonna be removing that half circle that we had right there. Let's see. Another triangle right here. And then we gotta go through everything. There we go. So we gotta find that half circle now. And once we do find it, I believe it's right here. There we go, it's right there, remove it. So now, that is a chest tattoo. A few adjustments with the spider arms and you're good to go. It looks pretty balanced. So now we're gonna be focusing on, this is gonna be easy, guys. We're gonna be focusing on the face tattoos, half moon outline, the letter D, I believe in the Charlemagne font, and then a full half moon followed by this other miscellaneous tattoo. You're gonna wanna just do the basic outline. The basic outline. And once you start doing that, you're gonna start wanting to like fill in the gaps to have overall just an idea of what you're looking for exactly. The easiest part is the head, because I figured out a new way to do it where it's just not so cluttered with like teeth. So now I figured out a way to how to advance it a little bit. So you're right here, you're doing the basic outlines. The face, I know it doesn't look like much right now, but it will eventually. Once you start to cover everything up and we do the sculpting, that's where the money's at. I did a little sculpting already just to kind of figure out where I was kind of going with this. So that will be at the end of the video, but this is showing you pretty much me outlining the outlines and then filling it with another tattoo to show you how I got the teeth. But I highly recommend that you guys do this step just because you're gonna wanna focus on everything first, because once the tattoos are there and you sculpt, it's gonna look incredibly stupid and it might be hard to balance it. So you're just gonna wanna make sure you have those outlines on the face first before you start doing sculpting. So now for the teeth, miscellaneous 8, I used the top of it. It kind of has like these layered ruffles to it that look like teeth. Obviously you can use some of those ones as well that are like in the tribal section to add a little bit of red to it, but I added this one for the teeth. And we're already at the limit. I'm gonna have to go back and delete some of these tattoos for the outline of the face. See, it came out really perfect. I see nothing wrong with it. Make sure you copy and paste that miscellaneous 8 tattoo and you're going to be fine. It's gonna, every layer that you add and copy it, it's gonna add a thicker outline to it. Now, this is the head template that I used. I believe it was number 4. Don't, under any circumstance, click OK on that face again, because all the sculpting will be done. And that's pretty much it, guys. The rest of the video is going to be showing you all the sculpting that I did, all the numbers to it. I hope you use this in good faith. You dominate in 2Cap, take him on career mode, enjoy Venom. He had a nice facelift from back when he was in UFC 3. And guys, I'm very thankful that you watched this video and you've gotten to this point. Thank you so much for your support. That's pretty much it, guys. If you have any other ideas or calves in mind that you want me to create, I will take it into consideration. But right now I'm only focusing on the popular ones that I already created. Until next time, guys, I'm out.